Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Jody. I just saw you this morning.
I know.
We've done this before. Yeah, I brought the team. So got David Scalora up there. At least he's up there on my list. And I've got Michelle Ronco over there. She's on the left, my left side. They just came off of a workshop such as this morning while we were over at Masters Group. At Masterminds. They were running another workshop someplace else. Had a great time. Good involvement. People coming in. Miranda is hanging out in the background. Miranda Perry. She's the one that keeps us all going in the right direction every day. That's the MLS listing studio sign you see there. So, hey, yeah, Jody, I found my raised hands under reactions.
Okay.
Down there on the bottom toolbar. And I saw the crying tear or laughing, smiling tears. I guess, I don't know what's the name of that emoji.
That one.
What's that?
Up in my corner now.
Oh, okay. Laughing and crying at the same time. That's where we hope to take you. No, just kidding. Yeah, Jody, you're right. We want to go over a few things that we missed out of the last one because the last one was so interactive and we really got into some topics deep. But that's okay. That's what these are all about. Yep. And we always want everyone to always have the chance, at the end, hey, Mark, can you just go over auto email just one more time? Right? Because there's always something, it's constantly changing. So I think what we'll do is I'm going to dive into the CMA concept, play around with some examples there, show you where you've got some support material to work with. Michelle's going to help me out on a discussion of average versus median versus price per square foot, sort of how to apply all this to your next presentation, your next discussion, your next dialogue, in Starbucks with a neighbor that recognized you there. So. And then Dave's going to do the dashboard, the matrix dashboard, getting it all set up for, you need it to start delivering you information from the first time you click, boom, it's starting to send back what you need already. And you haven't even gotten the search page yet. So let me set up a share here. And let's see, I'm going to go here. And Michelle, do me a favor and tell me what you see.
See the pro homepage.
Yay, I did it right. Okay. For everyone's, I got another monitor this weekend, and so I had to make a switch out, and then things are sort of new to me in my tech land right now. So I feel your pain when you say change, because I did change on my own this morning, and I'm still in a little bit of mode right now. So okay, CMAs. First things first, we've got, I think, David, remind me, I think there's about 14 of them.
I counted 14. Maybe 15 by tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah. Realist has got one. RPR has got one. Matrix has two, right? One was not enough. They had to put two in. Kind of said everybody that's got an app, even on the mobile side, seems to have a CMA attached to it. I would say give them a try. If you're a sporting kind of person, try a few out, see which one works best for you, which one's real fast, which one really gets into the detail, which one presents much nicer than the rest for that final presentation to a client, and you really want it to look snazzy. Which one presents the best? And so there's 14. There'll probably be 15 tomorrow. Play with them, see which one works best. Now, David, I'm going to work in the matrix side of the world. And I'm going to start with the quick CMA because that's the most popular report we've got. Everybody wants the quick CMA. Why? Because it's quick. It's not the prettiest thing in the world. We'll see that going forward. But it is quick and get you some basic information. You can get on with your day kind of stuff. And then I'll show you that advanced CMA as well. You need something just a little snazzier. So it all starts over on the matrix search page. And I'm going to move my keyboard around here. There we go. And I'm just going to use, we'll stay real simple here, real basic, work with just a single family home. But this is the part where I'm going to reach out into the audience. Who's there who would want to help me out with what's a CMA area that you're sort of looking at right now, or where do you work?
Mary B, raise your hand, speak up. Let Dave set it up for you, show you how to do it.
Yeah.
Mark, where did I get Dave from?
Oh,
Dave's
because he's that other guy that
There we
keeps
go.
hanging out with me. He's like a stalker. Every time I turn around,
It happens a lot. Got a lot more hair than Mark, so.
All right,
Uh,
we got someone. Are you, is this Willie Clifton?
Yes, it is.
All right, well, it looks like he is going to,
Willie's our
and
guy.
the minion and his son. Yep.
I am the
Wonderful.
guy.
So Willie, who are you with? What brokerage?
I am with EXP Realty.
EXP, okay. And where's your territory? What area do you focus on?
Well, right now I'm starting off. My farm is here in Palo Alto, the East Palo Alto Menlo Park area.
Got it.
But my area of question is about the Modesto area. I have a client, a couple of clients in the Modesto area right now.
Okay. Are you from Modesto originally?
My son, I've stayed in the San Joaquin County area,
Okay.
Tracy, Stockton areas, and as a child, I was even in the Winton area, so I'm familiar with the area.
Okay.
But getting more familiar with the real estate.
The reason I married one of those Central California gals from Modesto, so
Okay.
about 30 years ago, she's stuck. As they say.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that worked. Dave, when we work in the Modesto area, because that data is from outside of our area, sometimes it can get a little tricky, right? Because they don't calculate days on market like we calculate days on market. So what I'd like to do, Willie, is sort of, let's take a look at East Palo Alto as our example. Okay.
Yeah.
And Willie, hey, would you happen to know the zip code for East Palo Alto?
94303.
94303. That's a good real estate agent. They know their zip codes. Okay, so let's get started. Now, I always start with two concepts. First concept, search big. Get as much information as you can, and then come back and throw the things off maybe that just don't make sense, right? They said it was a single family, but it was actually a duplex. I'm only looking for 3 bedrooms and 2.5 baths, and that one's a 5-bedroom kind of stuff. Search big and work your way back to just the data you need, and that's what MLS probably does at its best. Because remember, an MLS does not make recommendations to you, and by that I mean it is not Google. Google, you type in chocolate cake, and it sends you back the recipes for chocolate cake, but then it says, hey, we've got this thing called chocolate raspberry cake. We're going to send you that one too. And chocolate lemon cake, you're going to get that. It starts making recommendations to you. That is not an MLS. You ask for 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, that's all you're going to get. Plain and simple. So first one, search big. Second thing to do is, what's the question and what is the answer they're looking for? Because if they just say, hey, Mark, what is the median price for a single family home in East Palo Alto today, or over the last 30 days? Well, that's a whole different thing than, Mark, I need to know the value of my home. And I've got a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,500 square feet in 94303, right? That's a whole different set of data and a whole different search. But many times I highly recommend do multiple CMAs before you come up with that final price you're looking for. Is this making sense, Willie?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so let's start with the big question. The big question. I'm going to come over here to the far left-hand side of the screen. You can see my little pulsing circle there. I'm going to go active, contingent, active. I'm on a PC, so I'm going to hold my control button down. Contingent, pending, and sold. If you're on a Mac, I got one of those too. If you're on a Mac, it's a command button. Hold down the command button and select the ones you want. Okay. Now, you really want to know, search super big, know everything that possibly went on in that marketplace during whatever given period of time we're going to work on. Maybe you want to add the withdrawns, expireds, and cancels as well, right? So when you have that in-depth conversation with your client who's asking about listings in the area, and they say, well, yeah, Mark, but remember, didn't you see the one down there on Chestnut Street? And you get to say, I did see that one, it expired, the listing expired. They didn't do anything with it. That's why it's not showing up any place in, realtor.com or Zillow or something like that, giving you that little extra piece of information to, I think, really let your client know, what's going on down to the street level, down to the listing level, right? And sometimes things withdraw, expire, and canceled. Nice to just sort of have that arrow in the quiver, as they say. Okay, want to talk about how far to go backwards in time here by looking at the COE date. Active, contingent, and pending listings. Pretty simple. There's always a set number of those at any given moment of the day, of every given day of the month and year. There's a very specific number. But solds, if you say show me the solds and you don't give us, or you don't give Matrix a time period to work in, we've got I think it's 21 years of data right now in the system. It's going to try and deliver you 21 years worth of sold information in whatever, geography you're going to choose down the road. Little too far back, I think. The other challenge can be, though, is the crazy marketplace we work in. And I'm going to bring, Michelle, if you could come off silent for a moment, because I have sort of a quick, crazy question for you.
Sure.
Because all there is to know about statistics in every part of our territory, right? On the spot. Hey, I'm curious, Michelle, if you were a betting sort of person, and I said, to look at the current marketplace in East Palo Alto, 30 days backwards in time, probably a good price. 60 days, boy, that's almost 4 sales cycles ago, right?
It could be, depending on, the sale date and the close date.
Okay.
I mean, I would think of it maybe in terms of the time of year. So the periods, right? So like if you're in April, you don't want to include January because
Right.
it's not relevant. Things are still pretty low in terms of volume. And so, if you're in August, like if I was doing it today, I would probably include June and July.
Okay. Go all the way back.
Because that's its kind of cycle, right? So that's a similar cycle. And then starting next month, I would definitely phase out June, and I might even make it tighter because the fall sales cycle is a lot different than the summer. So
Got it. That's why it's so important that you're here, because that's genius. That's brilliant. Taking a look at the statistical aspects of the marketplace, which is what Aculus provides, and really applying it to gathering, researching information for your client. Don't choose January. That's way back ago, but June could be relevant right now. Remember, we're gathering as much information as possible. So let's go to June 1 to start our search. Dave, for this one, I'm just going to do the simple one, 0601 2021, and put a plus sign behind it. Start on June 1st and come to today, kind of thing. And makes it easy. Now I'm going to do the single family. I think, remember, if you're doing townhomes and condos kind of thing, choose them both together. You never know what that listing agent called it. Choose them both together. So single family. Now, gonna start, Willie, with the big general question. What are the active, contingent, pending, and solds, withdrawn, expired, canceled since June 1, coming to up to today for single family homes and I'm coming down to the city. In fact, I'm going to go to zip code for this one. Dave may know this, but Willie, you're probably the expert. There are portions of East Palo Alto that are on the western side of Highway 101, correct? Where's
Yes,
Willie?
correct. Yes,
Yeah.
correct. I'm here.
And I think it's right at University Avenue. There's sort of this finger that jumps over the highway, kind of stuff.
Yes.
But does the zip code catch that finger, or is the zip code only to the east of 101?
No, the zip code catches that finger as well.
Okay, catches. So it stays pretty much, draws a line pretty nicely on the municipal city line, it sounds like.
Correct. As soon as you go over that little bridge going toward the Palo Alto, right as you go over, that's when it changes. Right there.
That little commercial corner there on the end. Dave, there's so many ways to search for geography. Zip code, you and I grew up in Saratoga, so it's 95070. And sort of like Willie with East Palo Alto, that line 95070 sits perfectly on top of the city of Saratoga lines. Right. Cupertino, not so much. right? Cupertino sometimes grabs portions of Santa Clara with that zip code and such. So you really, Dave, at some point, will, you know, may need to come back, Jody, and talk about mapping of where are my lines, right? And one of the lines that I'd really be concerned with, I don't like to use that often. I know some of you veterans out there are, you know, you've been using them forever, hard to give them up, but that's those MLS area lines. They can be tricky, as they say. There's some of them you'll look at and they'll go down the street and then they grab 4 houses up here and then come back to the street again. You just never know where they came from. In this case, Willie, we're going to stick with zip code because you know that neighborhood and you know it lands right on top of it. So 94303 is the zip code I'm using. Why am I getting so many, Dave? Oh, because the off-market stuff.
Yeah. You didn't put any parameters.
Yeah. So
Testing them.
That's going to be the largest CMA in the world, 1,456. I forgot to tell it to shut off the withdrawals, cancels, and expireds on that same time frame. So 06, 01, 2021 plus, that'll bring it down a little bit. We're now down to 123. And we'll do the same thing for the expired ones as well. 1-2021 plus, and that'll probably drop it just a little bit.
Mark, you added it.
Oh, look, I'm on Mayan time or something there. Hold on.
There you go.
There we go. All right, here we go. Let's get the results. So remember, this is the big question. Single family homes, East Palo Alto, only going back to June because as Michelle said, trying to stay within a relevant pricing period of time. Okay. Now, here they are, they're all scrambled in here. I think, Dave, I may have them sorted by current price. No, not that either. I'd have to figure out somewhere how I got it sorted. But remember, Dave, this is where I can sort any way I want right now. I'm going to click on the S right over here as an example, and I'm going to sort them by status. Actives on top, then my pendings as I go down the list here. Oops, got to move my mouse back. So I go down that list. I'll get to some active contingents. Those are the ACs. Okay. Look at this though. Look what showed up in here. A members only. Hey, it's an active listing, Dave. Members only are active listings, so they do show up in these CMA reports. Another thing, something sort of, once again, stay more relevant in the conversation with the client than your competition. Let the client know what a members only do not show is. It's an exclusive active listing. Can't see it right now, Dave, but when it comes ready for show, that listing agent will let us know and we'll get you in there. But it is currently in the active part of the marketplace. Okay. Anyway, going down the list, there's my pendings and solds and so on. Okay. And that, folks, is how the listing is going to show up when you print it out. Okay. It's going to break it up by status, and then break it down, I think, by address next. So let's see where you get that report. The first thing you have to do is you have to tell the system which one of these 123 listings you want to put on the actual printed report. And if you want to choose them all, okay, here's the all button right there. That's one option for you. Or you can click right up here, select all, right at the top of the check boxes, okay? And now all the pages are all lined up there, okay? Coming down to the bottom of the page, the print menu, right down there, way bottom left corner, here's print, and there's quick CMA right there. Okay. Print to PDF. Now I do recommend you print to PDF because Matrix, they've got a lot of people doing a lot of CMAs. So they purge their CMAs, I think, Dave, it's every 6 months. So I recommend it, especially if you're working with a client for a long time, maybe you're working a neighborhood or a specific piece of property. You know, when I hit print right there, print to PDF, I captured MLS data on a piece of paper. The MLS data is always moving. If I run the same search 2 minutes from now, there could be a new sold on there, could be a new active on there. Data is always moving and flowing, but when you come to print, you freeze the MLS for that moment in time. Okay. Now let's break down this report for you. As I said earlier, this is the most popular report we have. It's quick, it's easy. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, as I said before, but it gets the point across. Now, here's a little pretty up here, I gotta admit. We got some special banners and things like that you can put up there. I think there's about 50 of them to choose from. All the seasons, all the architectural styles, everything's represented. I think I probably did this around 4th of July, so you get to see my celebration. Coming down the report itself, there's all those actives, right? And if I go right down here, I got to find the line there. Nope, come up a little bit. Very sensitive mouse today. There it is. I'm going to zoom in because I want to show you this line right here. This is the summary, the quick summary of all the active listings. So I've got 36 of them, right? Average sale values. This is probably days on market. 22 days on market currently is the average for all the active listings. Here's your probably price per square foot or square footage, then dollars per square foot, total lot square footage, current pricing, average pricing, and probably MLS, the age of the property right there, okay? Each status, actives, active contingents, pendings, solds, and so on, they all have that same breakdown, okay? But look at the solds. We add one more column in for you. We give you the average, in this case, average list, but then we give you the average sale. We grab that last couple of pieces of data for you. When did it sell? That's the very last column to the right. And what was the sale at? Okay. Going down, you get one last set of data, which is the median pricing right here. Okay. Now I'm going to add one more just piece of information before I ask Michelle to come back on. This is page 1 through 4. Okay, there are 118 pages in this report. It will eat up a HP color cartridge in about 2 minutes. You better go to Costco right now if you're going to print all 118 color pages. So when you go to print, always select the page selection, page 1 through 4. Otherwise, your kid's college education just went over to HP. Now, Michelle, you've got kids going to college. 12 years or so. No.
Well, gosh, I hope so. In the very, very future. Today, I just hope they got home. Okay. We have a question from Mickle again. See the relief on my face?
Yeah.
Mickelin has a question.
Oh, what do we got?
I just had one, and you'll probably get to it. But, well, 2 things came up as you were going through this. Number one, as far as going from East Palo Alto with that same zip code 94303, and when you jump over 101 and get over just slightly over,
right?
My question is, does the zip code stay the same? Because I had the same kind of a situation where I had to differentiate the true, what I call the true East Palo Alto, which is on the east side, and the west side, which falls into Santa Clara County.
That's what I always thought too. When, a gazillion years ago, my dad had an office off a university on the, what was East Palo Alto. And, I spent weekends at Dad's office, but I didn't know until just, joining the MLS that it sort of drifts off over here and it goes over the county line as well. Willie, Willie, you're still with us, right?
Yes, I'm still here.
Willie, what, that zip code, which belongs to the U.S. Postal Service, guys. So, and they don't care about counties and things like that. They just do whatever they can to get the mail where it needs to go. Willie, does the zip code actually float into San Mateo County as well?
Yes,
no, from San Mateo to Santa Clara.
It goes in both directions. Going toward the San Mateo County area, that one is 94025. That's the Menlo Park, the East Menlo Park area.
Okay.
And then coming the opposite direction to where we are, that's going over into the Palo Alto area, and then it changes over to the Palo Alto zip code.
To Palo Alto. Okay.
Correct.
So, so I guess
I'm still not clear. I'm talking about
so
going.
let's do it this way. Hey, Dave, can you bring up Matrix and show and you're gonna have to help me with the pronouncing it. Mickelin,
yes.
Yeah, can you show Dave? I'm gonna stop sharing. Can you show us and show Mickelin specifically matrix mapping layers?
Sure, sure. Let's go ahead.
'Cause
While
this
he's
look-
doing that, Mark,
Yeah.
Aculus shows 94303 spanning 2 counties.
Interesting. Okay. So crosses, see, and that's what that US Postal Service, they're sort of, they're a rowdy group. They don't believe, as I said, in county lines. Doesn't matter to us. Our delivery guy is going over the line, guys. We have situations. Michelle is intimately familiar with Los Gatos, because Los Gatos has this arm that goes over the top of the mountain into Santa Cruz County. What are you doing over here? So Dave, let's take a look at the city lines versus the zip code lines and how to make that determination.
Sure. So I just jumped into our map here real quick. And let's jump right into Palo Alto here.
So that gets you zoomed in. Nice.
Zoomed in a bit. And what we've got here is these layers right here. So which are perfect for this kind of situation where, like I said, maybe what you're looking for is different or overlaps. So if we go layers right here, you can see we've got the zip codes right there, the city right there. Let's go and bring up the zip codes real quick.
Okay.
And so where were we? We were over here, 94303, right?
303. Boy, it comes way over the other side.
It really does. And so from here, in a situation like that, you're probably best off, instead of getting, everything, if that's not what you want, is use one of these cutting tools right here. So we've got the radius tool, rectangle, polygon, right? So the polygon tool right here, we also have a freehand. So if you want, you can freehand it, but a polygon tool, so I usually use on this, and you just start it right here. So let's just say I want to start right here. And I can just click it once to anchor it, and then I can draw, right? So I'm just going to, as an example here, imagine this is the only section I'm trying to figure out here.
Right.
All right, 94303. I can just draw that shape to finish right where you start, and then I'll take off that layer. And so that way I know, okay, that's the only place that's going to give me data is right there. I know
That rectangle. Yeah.
94303. Right. That's what we've kind of been pushing a little bit too. Mark mentioned areas. We have a big old data feed that brings in so much data right now. Sometimes, an area might not pop in. So this way we know anything geographically, if it's there where I drew it, right, that's the data I'm going to get. So it's going to be a lot more detailed and a lot more accurate than,
and that's a really good point, Dave. The data share is great. And we're getting in a lot of listings from all over Northern California, but some of those MLSs out there have not caught up to us on the technology side. So you may order, if you work in areas, you order up an area, but those 2 listings that are coming in from San Francisco don't map into that area, right? Because the data is not normalized that way. But in the meantime, and this is key. Your customers cannot search by area. So if you're searching by area and they're searching by zip code, or they're searching by city, your list will never match up. And eventually you will get that customer coming to you going, how come you didn't show me this one? I found this one on realtor.com and you didn't show it to me. And we don't want to be there, right?
Right.
So Dave's example here of searching by geography ensures you're never going to have that problem.
What if you added the as a search parameter the county? So those 100 and so
Oh, good
some
point.
odd,
Yeah,
then they would definitely be Santa Clara County.
absolutely.
They
They
might
would.
have the same zip code, 94303.
Like the way you think. Dave, that's a good thinking agent. Right? Wow, that's a great idea. Back in the criteria page, use the zip code. It goes across the county line, but then refilter it again for just the stuff on this side of the line, on the Santa Clara County side. Great idea, Mickman.
Right. And another thing too, while I'm at it, 118, that's a lot of listings to show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely it is. That's why I said search big. And I just use an example of, okay, let's go through the fundamental clicks to make it happen. But absolutely, I would go back to that giant list of 118 and start looking at those. Maybe sort it by square footage, right? And then throw some of the monsters off of there, sort it by lot size, kind of thing. Throw the ones off that really don't match. But you notice sure you see everything.
And you notice, I mean, a good chunk of those looks like was off markets, right?
Right.
We're down to 31 as soon as if you just go in.
That's tasteful. Mm.
Of course, hopefully everyone knows, once market says go big, right? And then, which I agree with. And then, that's at that point, some agents like to be, really concise. Some like to go bigger, but from here, you can go ahead and just use that refine button down at the bottom, and go ahead and get rid of anything, obviously, that's not, in the parameters you were hoping for.
Yeah, like that 11,000 square foot lot, right? Probably not a great comparison to maybe what you've got, down in the 8,000 square foot. Throw it off that list.
Right, just discard it. You can always bring it back, right? And so, run your numbers. Oftentimes I would say run your numbers with it all, and then run your numbers with the things you take out.
Yeah.
If you really want to, impress and say, hey, I know every property in this neighborhood, right? Here's the numbers of what this, here's the square footage, here's everything, here's the price. But when you throw out those couple of houses because of whatever, here's what the real market is in that area. So,
and Dave, I think that's what that differentiator is right there. You just nailed it. That's letting your client know, I know everything big and I know everything really refined. I got you covered here.
Right. And I should mention, I guess, Mark, those member no-shows, those are active, like Mark said. If there was a case where, you think, well, maybe it doesn't really, it's a no-show and they're just testing the market price and that kind of thing. And you can always, in your criteria, well, two things. One, you can always just use that filter and remove it if you want, or, because it will, anytime you do a search, it'll include members, but you could just say, you know what, don't include any of the members.
Take those out.
Right. And that way it won't filter, it'll filter those out when you do the search. Right now we're down to 29. It took those two out there.
Cool. Hey, Dave, go ahead and run the quick CMA. And while you're setting that up, Dave, when you're done, roll down to the bottom of before it gets to the thumbnails on a quick CMA report. Because Michelle, on those reports, I pointed out where here's the average line, average sale price, average sold price, all that kind of stuff. And then there's another one down below, median price. So it begs the question from a guy like me, which one do I use?
Yeah, no, it's a really important question. And actually it's been raised. We've been debating it. I'll say it nicely. Debating it inside of Acculus. There were challenges, there were opportunities. No, but we've been talking about this a lot actually. And it's a really important mathematical piece because it will change so much. So let's talk about what is the median mathematically. It's the middle number. It is literally the middle. So in a case like that, it would take all of those different listings and it would say, I'm going to line them up in the order from smallest to largest, and I'm going to pick the middle number. And if the middle number, if it's an even number, then it will average the two middle numbers to get to the very middle of all of that. So the median is important when you have outliers, because what it does is it doesn't matter how much more the top is than the very bottom to the middle. It just counts at the top and the bottom and eliminates those, and then starts eliminating till it gets to the very, very center. And so an average will have a very different look. An average will take all of those 31 that Dave is looking at, and it will take all of the sale prices and it will just divide it by the number, and that's it. So it's more apt to have variation, because you'll have that 11,000 square foot that we discarded as part of the CMA,
right?
It will be in it. And so that's the whole reason you discard them, because you say, whoa, this one, sold for way low because, somebody lived in there and it needed a lot of work. And this one sold for a lot because they built on a third story, and that's not typical for the neighbor. So in general, when you're trending and when you're trying to tell people about what is happening in a specific place, then you should use the median. And we do. And we talked to our partner economist, Elliot Eisenberg, about it. I talked to Jordan Levine at Carr about it. I mean, Carr uses it, NAR uses it, but you're going to find the median a lot of the time. An average is going to be used when, like, if you were in a subdivision and there's very little change, it's rarely, even a median is probably better then, because it kind of just so even finds the middle of the middle. But there are some times when an average works. It's just that it's much more prone to swings, right?
Okay.
It varies a lot more. And it's in a market that is a lower price market, average is going to tend to skew high. And in a market where it's going to tend to skew low. And in a market where there's a lot of high price, like if you did an Atherton, then it's going to skew high, because then those higher, sales, even if there's fewer of them, are going to make the whole thing seem more expensive. And so you have to be really careful. And in fact, I just grabbed East Palo Alto. So I don't know if you guys want to see the difference in what happens.
Yeah, let's
if
take
I
a
could
look.
share.
Yeah.
Let me just show you, because why wonder? But I have this here. And so look, this is the median. This is single family for East Palo Alto. And you can see here that in July, the median price was 1.301,
Okay.
right? If you go to the average sale price, it's not that different.
Yeah, not much.
It's not different. But look what happens. Let's say, for example, Atherton, right? So the average price was 13 million. And the median sale price is 15.5.
Wow.
That's going to make a big difference. So the more homogeneity, the more like a neighborhood is, then the less it's going to affect it. But you have to be really careful about it. I often tell people to look for both. I think if you're going to do it quickly and you only have one, most of the time in Santa Clara or San Mateo counties, you're going to want to use the median. But you could choose both. And if people are more comfortable with the average, that's fine. In your clients, you just have to explain, like, 2 listings could really throw this off, more expensive or less. And it gives people a false sense of what they can afford.
Got it.
That was great.
So, Michelle, you stated Atherton, right? Sort of that's one end of the scale. But sort of the other end of the scale, let's say a large neighborhood in Sunnyvale of Eichlers, right? That, they're all sort of coming back in, the Eichler craze and all that kind of stuff. You could do an average there. It could apply, right?
It could, because that's going to be very similar homes. You have to take into consideration too, lot size.
Got it.
And so like if you were doing that drawing tool that Dave was doing and you said, hey, I'm going to grab this, or like in my 1960s subdivision in Campbell, if you take 4 blocks by 3 blocks, you're going to get pretty close, but unincorporated starts 2.5 blocks away in one direction. And then you're going to have people with money, more pools. You're going to have much bigger lot sizes. You're going to have lots of different things. And so you have to be really careful. The average in that case will go right off the deep end. But if you kept it fairly tight, then maybe the average is okay.
Oh, where'd you go?
Yeah.
There she is. We lost you for a second there.
The earbuds, they like to disconnect and reconnect.
I know.
It already happened to me once today in a recorded event. Anyway, the people that are smarter than me, economists and stuff, said in general, use the median.
Okay. Feel safer. Okay.
Most of the time. Yeah, you're going to want to use the median.
Okay. Hey, I'm really going to put you on the spot now. If you had to choose a good Aculist report that maybe shows both, do we have one that shows both on one report?
Both.
Or what would you choose?
No, but I do have a favorite. It's just my favorite in general, and I'll show it to you guys.
I know you guys took the one with the golden retriever off. That was like
my favorite one.
It was the least requested. It was. We couldn't even justify it for all you dog lovers.
I want one with a kitten on it. How's that? I want kittens on my reports.
Not happening. Hard no. So this is a great report, and this is the one that I like if you're going to show it. So no, it does not have the average, because in general we don't publish it. You can get it out of Matrix and maybe talk about the average, what the difference is. But the reason I like this report is because it does offer you an alternative, which is the price per square foot. So it's an average price per square foot, which is better because the bigger the house, it doesn't just take that final sale price, right? It takes the average of the price per square foot. And so then you can multiply it against whatever your desired square footage is and put your clients in a better position of understanding. So you can take the median sale price in East Palo Alto. This is an Aculist report. You can go request this at any time. $1.3 million. And what you can show is say, well, because you want a home on the larger end, let's actually take this price per square foot here. which is 728, and multiply it across your, your desired home, size. Oh my gosh, your desired home size, and say you want it at the higher end. But you'll also notice, and part of the reason I love this report so much is that it just breaks the market up into quartiles, meaning it takes the 10 homes that were sold last month and it shows it by price per square foot in terms of price, because we see there's a big difference between the entry level market, where you're going to pay the highest price per square foot, and the luxury of East Palo Alto, which you're going to pay a lower price per square foot. So you say, hey, you're an entry first time buyer, entry level, don't come in at 1.3 thinking, because actually you're going to pay a higher price per square foot at that $1 million mark than you would if you were coming in that $1.6 million mark, which is likely that part of the finger there, right? So
could be.
So you're going to have to show them this, so you could multiply the square footage, desired square footage, against the average price per square foot. You could talk quartiles and say, ooh, unfortunately, you're actually going to pay a little bit more at that price point. Or you could just show median and average and say, what are you most comfortable with? Let me educate you on the math.
Got it. Okay.
I think we have a question.
Yeah, I was reading that, and it's a really good question. It applies. It's from Jeff Phelps, and Jeff is saying straight up, I like this. Can MLS listings please invest in improving the reporting tools for CMAs? Cloud CMA reports are so much better, and they use your data. I couldn't agree more with you, Jeff. Very frustrating that separate subscription required to produce decent looking reports. Absolutely agree with you. And you picked a good week to say this, because there is a Dave Wetzel, who is the CEO of the organization, the president and CEO. He and I did a presentation this morning specific to how are we choosing our products? How do we choose the mix that we offer? What are we doing about the this frenzy of purchasing of what is known as prop tech now, property technology? Cloud CMA got bought out, right? Showing Time got bought out, Glide got bought out, all this stuff going on. So we are actually doing a full audit of all of our tools and all of our contracts, and which ones just aren't doing well anymore. And we're going to take that money and put it where you guys want it. So this Thursday, 1:00, we're doing an MLS Listings live show. We've got Dave Wetzel on the show to talk about this. Would love to have you, Jeff, if you're available. I'm going to relay the message to him as one of the questions in the QA period. But if you're available, would love to have you come and join us and ask the guy himself, as they say. But I agree with you. Cloud CMA is a great tool and very presentable reports, as they say. Yeah, you're right. Davey says it hasn't improved in 15 years. I may even go longer for you, Jeff, on that one. I think they came out during Netscape kind of stuff. So, but we're rattling this cage pretty heavy right now. So thank you for your input, Jeff. I will definitely add it to Thursday's show. Dave, we don't have too much time left, but we got to give these people that dashboard discussion. While you're doing that and taking over the screen, I'm going to go ahead and put some links for CMA information from the pro support site into the chat room, so people can click on videos and such.
Gotcha, sure.
Can I do I got a couple questions on what report that is, and I would be devastated to leave here.
No leaving.
So let me show my screen, just because this is such a great report. So I'm in the Aculus tool here, which you guys can click on from the pro homepage, and I'm going to put in East Palo Alto. I'm going to choose the city, and what report pole position. It's the first one. It's called the City Stats with Summary Text, and it's not a lot to look at, I'll admit, but man, for your own education or that of your buyers, that's where you're going to get the quartiles, the average price per square foot, and all the still the other, year over year numbers. But it's a really great way. And the text, that's smart text, right? So it's going to update monthly. So if you have a newsletter or something, it's my favorite all around report. The other question for Aculus was, no, we don't do counties, right? So most people are mad that we can't draw a neighborhood. So we're trying to get actually more granular, less wide, because there's so much diversity. But I'll tell you, and a lot of people don't know these exist, in MLSlistings.com, and I don't know if you guys have been here, we have a public facing site, right? So MLSlistings.com. And if you go to Media Center, there's a little bucket down here. This is interactive market snapshots. This is where you're going to get your county data. That's really, really cool. Interactive data. So I'm in San Mateo County. I'm going to choose 3 years by month. I tend to like my brain works on a month versus a quarter. But look at all this inventory. You can run your mouse over it. You see all of the numbers of inventory. You can remove, if your clients don't want condo townhome, just click on it and remove it. And you can get these clean charts. They're downloadable by clicking that button. So you can reuse them. Months to sell. That's a fun one. Closed sales. There's median price and then average price. So you can do both. And then there's even this really great one down here that says average and median. So if you wanted to really show people the difference, look at that difference in the county, what happens between averages and medians. And so I just removed condo and townhome or common interest. But anyway, download these, use them. This is the best way to get county data. It's fantastic. And it's available 24/7. It's on our MLSlistings.com website.
Excellent.
Sounds good. Thank you, Michelle. And Dave, as you get set up over there, Khalid, I saw your message in the chat room about your you like the Disclosures.io disclosure management software. Although we don't name names, as they say, we're definitely going to talk about that on Thursday. We did this morning in a sort of a when we pitched the product earlier this morning, and document management is one of our focuses right now. So join us on Thursday for that continued discussion. Hey, Dave, let's show them some of the fun stuff on the dashboard.
Sure. So let's just pop on in. Here's our matrix dashboard right here. So pop on in. And so the dashboard, it is customizable. So you can drag and drop whatever you like here. If you hit the little X button, right, get rid of something, just puts it right into the additional. You can always just click it, drag it right back. So you get some customization on this. Typically on this page, there's three kind of main things that we advise to have. That's your market watch right here, your hot sheets, and your favorite searches, right? So just really quickly, market watch, right? And I always say market watch is kind of like your stockbroker. You wake up in the morning, what's going on in the market, right? So you can see here, I've got it set. It does have, you can choose if you want residential, whatever class you want, whether it's commercial, residential, you can select it right there. And you can also choose how far back to go. So I've got it set for the last 3 days. So if I wanted like the last 7 days here, right, you can choose that. And it's going to show you, here's every status change, right? So new listings, prices that are going down, prices that are going back, things back on the market, right? But just hit that customize button right here. And what you can do is you tell exactly here. So, I chose single family here. I'm in residential. You choose city, right? Or zip, county, MLS area. And if you want, let's say you have a couple of zip codes, right? Just use a comma, right? So same with cities. If I go, for instance, Saratoga here, right? I'll select it, but I can also use a comma. So I want a Saratoga, but I also wanted, say, Campbell as an example here. Now I've got Saratoga and Campbell in there, right? So you can do that there. We also have the county level. And once you put that in there, all you have to do is hit that save button right there. And it will be up to date now. So what we're looking at here is the last 7 days, everything that's happened, right? Status change wise here in the last 7 days in the city of Saratoga and Campbell, right? Since I set it up that way. And if you wanted to see these, for instance, like if I want to know, who's dropping their prices right now, we got this list price decreased, 3 of them. So just click on it and you'll see those 3 right there. Right? If you hover over the percent change, you'll notice it will give you the exact dollar amount change there. So you don't even have to, but you can click on a listing and go right into the listing as well there. So that's kind of the market watch. Let's go back here to my dashboard here. There we are. Hot sheets, right? Hot sheets are very similar, of course, to the market watch. The thing about the market watch is you can only set one on this on the dashboard. So you choose what it is, whether you're going into that market, right? Or maybe it's the market you do business, maybe it's the market you're thinking about going into, so you want to keep an eye on, right? But hot sheets here, the whole purpose of a hot sheet is exactly, you don't want your client coming to you telling you, did you see that house go down the street sold, that kind of a thing. So same type of a deal here with a day, 7 days, 3 days. But you notice on the hot sheet, you can do a custom time frame. So if you wanted it, 17 days or whatever you want, you can do it here. So I'll just set it again, 7 days. And I'm gonna hit that customize button one more time, but this time under hot sheets. And it's a real simple process. You can see I've made a few already, but just hit that add button. We're gonna add a hot sheet and just go ahead and give it a name, right? So, how about, let's see here, how about Sunnyvale here? So go Sunnyvale, I'll hit save. Put Sunnyvale on there, isn't smart enough to know what Sunnyvale means. So we do have to hit then edit criteria. So we add, give it a name, and then edit that criteria for it. And here's where we can tell it exactly what we want, right? So on the change type here, there's all our status changes again, just like you saw on the market watch. If you just wanted, hey, all I care about is things coming on the market, things that are, prices that are dropping here, you can use your control key, right? If you're on the Mac, it's the command key, I believe. And you can choose those individual. We really recommend use any change. It's kind of the whole purpose is you don't want to miss out on anything here. So any change will give me absolutely everything. This right here in the middle is called a cross property class. And what that basically means is you're searching the entire database, right? Residential income, commercial. So if I don't touch this right here, I'm getting all of this here. I'm getting absolutely everything, right? But maybe I just want residential, right? You can see now I got the residential class. Maybe I want some duplexes and such. So I'll choose residential income. And you can see now I've got duplex, triplex, fourplex in there, right? Typically, we won't want to put anything in the building description because this will just limit your data and you might miss out on something. And so pretty much once we've got that, let's just tell it where. I named it Sunnyvale. I probably go Sunnyvale. And again, you can do commas, right? Multiple zips, multiple everything here. And I'm just going to hit the save button now. And here we go. We'll go save and done, right? And what you'll see here is there's the one I created, right? I can still toggle the days here if I want to go with 3 days or so, right? So that's not fixed in stone. But now if I click on Sunnyvale, well, here's everything happening in Sunnyvale in the last, 7 days I asked for. So all my new listings down here, let's see, this change to sold, absolutely, right? Anything, I asked for everything, so I'm getting everything, right? Any price reductions are gonna be on there. And I'm getting pretty much everything when there's some things that won't expire and so forth. So that's the whole purpose of the hot sheet. But I'm going to do one other thing here, and that's to go back in here, right? And I'm going to hit customize again. And let's go ahead and click on that Sunnyvale one I just created. And let's hit edit criteria once. So you can always go in and change it. So if I want big picture, I go city, zip codes, right? But like we kind of did earlier with that map search, here's that map search right here. So I could go ahead and click on map search here. Let's just say I click on map search. I could also give it an address and it will give me a 1 mile radius around that address. Let's just start with that here. Right. So let's just say you had a listing, right? Pop in the address of your listing, right? There it is. It says map area selected in red. It found it. And I'm going to click on it here. So what I'm getting here is instead of, all of whatever city or zip code, I told it, here's my listing or the property I want it around, right? And I wanted, it's a 1 mile radius. You can go ahead, you can see I can shrink that down. I can make it bigger, right? I can even go ahead and let's delete that shape. And let's say, hey, I do a little business, let's say, on both sides of this freeway here of 85. So I'm going to use my cutting tools right here. I'll use that polygon one again. And, maybe I want to get specific right here. So I cut out a little area there, right? So that would be my hot sheet area right there. Let's cut out another one on the other side of the freeway, right? There we go.
And Dave, that's a really good point of you can have more than one area on one map in 5 different counties, right?
Right. You can draw, right, exactly. So it doesn't have to be just one shape, right? You can go crazy.
Right.
And I'm gonna draw one more because I don't like to do business, or my client said, don't take me too close to that freeway. All right. And so I'm gonna draw one more here. There we go. And again, finish where you start, but this time I'm gonna say exclude that shape.
Nice.
So what I'm doing here now is what I've got is it's gonna give me everything here in my hot sheet, tell me what's going on and here, but it's not gonna waste my time right in the middle there because I said I don't I don't care about that data, right?
I've always taught, just the real practical aspect. Dave, you and I grew up in Saratoga, so we know about, this fire station at Austin Corners, or the fire station right downtown. I
Right.
like Saratoga, but I don't want to live with the firemen. So, right, because it's the noise, or the flight path. We have a flight path for the hospital over here for the helicopters. I
Right.
like the area, but take that piece out.
Yeah, no, yeah. And yeah, when I lived in Campbell, the fire station right there on Union, I was right across the street. So
All
believe
right
me,
long.
get into the neighborhood level, zoom in, and really, you can really be specific, and you can exclude areas you don't want in there. So that's the hot sheet right there. And I know I kind of went through this quick because it's already 3 on our YouTube page, right? We
Nice.
have it all. You can also go to the pro support page right here. But our YouTube page has the videos on there, and all you have to do is go into our YouTube, right? Search MLS listings. Don't even have to subscribe, though. We hope you do, because then when I post videos, it'll tell you, right? And when you go in there, just click on playlists, and the first thing you'll see is a Matrix playlist, and we have Matrix 101, Matrix 201, Matrix 301. And Matrix 101 covers hot sheets, just like we're doing here. It covers the dashboard management. So we always have videos out there for you. You can also always go into the pro support page, hop on in here, right? And you can use the self-service search right here, right? Type in hot sheet right here, and everything we've got for hot sheet is going to come up right here, whether they're videos, whether they're articles, right? And so, take advantage of that, take advantage of the YouTube page. I guess if we're going to wrap it up on the dashboard, just one last thing, and it's very important, it's that favorite searches here, right? So when you do a search, make sure you save it, of course, but you might want to go ahead, I'll just pop in that search I did real quick here. I'll just go ahead and just pull a recent search up here, and residential, how about this one here? And so there we are. So if I'm going to save this search here, I'm going to click down at the bottom, save, right? And here is new save search. And you'll notice we have that little button right here, enable it as a favorite search. If you click that button, right, and I'm just going to pop anything in there, yada, 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 hit save, right? And what you're going to see there, when I go to that dashboard here, there we are. It's going to be right there on my dashboard, right? There it is right there.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada, yada. And another nice thing about it is, so it's easy to get to, but also another nice thing is maybe later in the, in the day, I say, I want to know, did anything else pop in since the last time I looked? Well, I got a little update all button right here, and I can click that, and it will tell me the last, right? If anything's popped in since the last time I looked at the results, right? And obviously that zero's there because I just set it up, but maybe in an hour, maybe that says one new, I'll click on it, go in, I'll take a look at it, right? See the updated result list. So it's in the background, it's updating, right?
And what's nice about that update all, and it only brings up the ones you haven't seen since the last time you were in there. It would be really lousy if they said, okay, you've got new things and yada, yada, yada. Click on it. Now you go figure out which ones they were.
Right.
With that update, it at least gets you to, okay, just what was the last time there. There's Teresa. How are you? I see you smiling. Good to see you. You must have snuck in. Hey,
I rattled off a bunch of questions.
oh, are they over there? I've been listening to Dave. So Dave, let's go through some of those. I'm gonna widen out so I can see who's. Oh my God, Christy Niemeyer's here. She and I go way back.
Hey, Mark.
There's let's see. There she is. On Aculist, is there a way to change the colors to reflect the personal branding? Just curious. Michelle.
No, unfortunately. So we do have some of the brokers that have opted to change the colors, or we can change the colors. So like Compass is black, and I think they ended up going with teal because it's mostly black and white, and Keller Williams does red. So there are some. I mean, if you're interested, it would be great to have that be something that we hear you would want to have for your brokerage. It would affect everybody in brokerage.
Absolutely. Sort of one size would have to fit all, kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, Christy's asking about agents that share stats on how many offers they got. Michelle, or pending sales received, that kind of stuff. And do we track it? And sorry to say, the answer is no to that as well. We have it in listing management. We would love for you to give it to us, but the board has stated that that's not a requirement.
Yeah, so we can only, so the two questions for Aculus is it a required field? And if so, do we track it? And so in that particular case, you know, like someone asked me the other day about financing, you know, all cash offers. And I said, we get it, but we don't track it. Or so if the first one is a no, if the first question is a no, then it's really difficult to do. But it is really interesting because we're talking about how that would benefit the entire community and the possibility of asking for that to be made. The board would have to approve, of course, into a required field because we'd all benefit from it.
I agree.
For sure. But pending, for sure, we do track, and we've been putting out the weeklies. So if you're interested in pending sales, you can either fish it out of Matrix, but Aculus Weekly, the Aculus Weekly update by county is going to show you that pending chart, and it's going to show you compared to 2 years ago. Yeah, I didn't know if we had time for that, but that's a great way of looking at trends, especially as we go into the latter part of the year.
And that's on the pro homepage, right?
Pro homepage. Yeah, you guys are just too far in. But yeah, there it is. Aculus Weekly Market Update, and it's by county. And it's really interesting to see how it trends.
Now it comes up on, it's supposed to be up by Tuesday, right?
Yeah, but it's been up since 10 this morning. So we're often overachievers.
What is going on over there? Boy, setting the bar high in engineering.
Yeah, we got it out really early this morning, and so yeah, the stats are updated. So if you click on Santa Clara, and yeah, if you put your email address in that little box down there, I'll send you an email every Tuesday around 11 a.m. to with a link to the new stuff. But
sort of remind you.
Yeah, the
so what is going? Look, hey, pending's up.
Yeah, and it shows you like what holidays do. It's really cool. I mean, it's a really great way of having weekly stats for sure.
Yep. Once again, just that snapshot of what's going out there and giving, as you say, it's a conversation starter. And whether it's with the client
or even just looking like you're doing math every Monday morning for your clients, I mean, it's a great way to keep them in the loop or send out something every Monday morning or Tuesday morning if you want to make sure that we get it in on time. But yeah, I mean, next Tuesday, because of Labor Day, we'll definitely, take all the time we can get. But it's just on the top of the pro homepage. So if you can show that again, a question just came in. Pro homepage, it's up there. Aculus Weekly Market Update. The link's always available. It's just new as of every Tuesday morning or Monday afternoon if we're overachieved.
Got it. Dave, where do you put the days to set your hot sheet? Into other words, 7 days, like 7 days, 15 days, all that kind of stuff. So where do you set the date for the date frames?
Oh, for hot sheets? So right here, just right here, you can set it. So again, 7 days today, 3 days, or use that custom one.
Okay.
Right. And you can choose. So anytime you want it, pretty much if you use the custom, you can have any date you want. But I think 7 days, 3 days is the typical, probably more popular. But yeah, and to answer the question I saw in there, I want to answer this one because this came up in our virtual office hours this morning. And it's how many hot sheets you can have here. Right. And it is 10.
It is 10. Okay.
Right.
But you could build, let's say you want 11 through 15. You could build them on the search page and put them over there in those saved favorite searches.
Right. Here's the hot sheet. We built it into our search as well. So look, it's all I have to do is just say any change, and here's your change date. Right. And so let's say I wanted the last 7 days, 0 minus 7. And now I'm getting the last week, right? 0 minus 3, 0 minus 1. It's every day looking back, right? So you can use this one right here, conduct your search, parameters, put it in here. And then you would just save it like we did on the, if you need more than 10, and then save it as a favorite search, right?
Okay. And I do want to recognize, as Dave said, it's Jody, it's 3:10. We've got time. If people would like to stay, we're happy to stay with them, but I do respect, people have schedules and stuff like that. So how do you want to go, Jody? Jody.
Let's see here.
She's there. She's trying to figure out where the unmute went.
It says with the pushing.
My screen went like down underneath a whole bunch of stuff. So thank you.
Malia, to the rescue.
So yeah, you guys are more than welcome to continue, and anybody that wants to stay on, please. This is your time, and if MLS is so generous with their time, take this time to learn, everyone, and make suggestions for what month are we in? September. How are we in
Oh, good idea.
Someone help me with that.
Good idea. Hey, Dave, if you could set up an auto email so we can show
Concierge?
yeah, concierge.
Sure.
While I'm over here working with Mike. Mike has a question on the members only, the purpose of members only. So let me so Mike, members only, let me go back a little bit. We had this thing called Coming Soon. And we built Coming Soon back, you know, it feels like in the world of MS-DOS, it was so old. And it didn't have much functionality. You could just search it and it came out like a bulletin board. It was fairly lame. We needed it to bring it into the 20th century minimum. And then at the very same time, NAR came down with clear cooperation, stating that, you have to show the listing within 24 hours of announcing it outside of your brokerage, right? But the brokerage could be as big as Compass, border to border, nation to nation kind of thing. It could be as small as, Mark Messimer's incredible galactic real estate office here in Felton, California. We needed, but that was forcing real estate agents, and for some of our agents in fairly exclusive areas or with clients that, felt that they had security needs, or, they really were trying to get the property ready before they actually started to show it. And that 24-hour clock that was ticking in the background became a problem. And that's where our board got together and created sort of these zones where you could stay compliant with NAR, compliant with MLS listings on clear cooperation, yet hold that property back from full viewing, and primarily from that listing syndication, going out there to Trulia and Zillow and Realtor.com and such. It members only stays within the professional subscribers of MLSs in Northern California, because we do share them with the other MLSs in the area. That's a great printout there, Dave. Thank you. So there are two categories of members only. They are both active. Members only do not show is just that. It is do not show, meaning you can still have a sign in the front yard. You can have 100 pictures on the internet. You can have the video going and the Matterport and the whole thing happening, but don't let anybody in that front door. Because at that point, you are in violation of the do not show rule. Okay. Now you move it over to members only show, still not being syndicated to Trulia and Zillow and Realtor.com and so on. But you can show the property now to whomever wants to see that property. And you get a brand new list date, which means you get 0 days on market. It's a reset to 0 days on market. And if you were using members only to test pricing, right? That started at 1.4. And then when we move it to show, we'll see how it's doing. You come into show category and you move it down to 1.2. Right? Or you move it up to 1.6 in Michelle's crazy statistical world around here. You move it up to 1.6 and 1.2 goes away. It never happened before. Every time you move it, 0 days on market reset, 0 price reset. So it looks fresh again in the marketplace. So that's where members only came from. And that's what it is now. As Dave pointed out, if you go to the support center, upper right-hand corner of every page and just type in members only, it'll bring you back the videos, the how-tos, the rules, the FAQs, you name it. It's all about members only. And if you still have questions, call the call center, right? Write them a letter, send them a chat, all that kind of stuff. They'll be happy to help you out. In fact, Robert Bustamante, who is the head of the compliance department, who in the past has said, no one really shows up for those things. He came on this morning, and I hear from Michelle and Dave that Robert had a really good time being with the membership, and hopefully he learned a lot. But that's a great place to capture Robert now, is come on over to one of the shows. He'll be there, kind of thing. Dave, let's go through auto email from Maryland.
Gotcha. So I went ahead, I just did a quick search, and I clicked on auto email at the bottom, right? And so here's auto email, because this was pertaining to the concierge mode. right? And again, our Matrix 101 video has auto emails on there, how to do the basic auto email. Now you can do ASAP or daily on your search here, or on your trip out to your clients, right? So, if I choose ASAP, right, as soon as something pops in, doesn't wait. If I choose daily, it'll send any new results according to the schedule I picked. But we have this concierge mode right here. And if you click enable concierge mode, you see it changes to save, go to approvals. And so what concierge mode is, sorry, Mark, it's not going to be you. Let's try Carlos here. And I'll show you here. Why am I having? Oh, sorry. No wonder I put it in the CC. There. I was like, what is going on? Let's try it a third time. So save, go to approvals. So what concierge mode really is I always like to say it's kind of, maybe for a picky client, it says, why do you keep sending me all these types of, maybe the architecture's wrong. Well, it's an auto email, right? It matched up beds, baths, location, right? But this way on a concierge mode, you get full control. So first thing, none of these go automatically, unlike daily and ASAP, which will automatically send them when they come in. Right? This one here, you come in and you approve the ones you want. So you get to take a look at the listings and say, okay, my client's going to like these ones. I'm only going to send them these. And all you have to do is hit approve selected, and it sends them only the ones you approve, right? The rest of them are going to be sitting here. It's going to notify you, send you an email and say, hey, you've got these waiting to be approved as new ones come in. And next time I'm in here, it's going to also tell me, okay, the date I emailed, which ones. So I already know what ones I've sent out and what ones I chose not to yet, right? So you get full control. Keep in mind, it's a lot more work for you, right? But you have full control. So if you ever have that client who, stop sending me these type of lists, you know exactly what they want. You could go ahead and use concierge mode and basically approve only the ones you want to send, right? So not everything's going. And that's why I think on the dashboard, we're seeing that there's the concierge, right? I think it's on here. Here's concierge. So it's just, that's all that is if I have, listings that need approval there, right? I can click on it and go in, but it will send you emails as well. So that's concierge mode.
And Dave, there's a video, as you said, there's support at the Pro Support site as well as at the YouTube channel. For email and the advanced aspects of email, correct?
Exactly. And I'll just go really quick to YouTube. Here's our YouTube channel here. I'll pop in, just search MLS listings, right? There we are. And all you have to do is just go right there we are. So I would definitely subscribe if you can. We don't have to, but if you subscribe, we post a video, it's going to notify you so you don't miss out. So here's the videos, right? We have all the videos here. Here's all of Michelle's Activist Market Minutes and all our videos there. I would use, there's our live show. There's the vendor spotlight that we've just come out with, the first one. And here's playlists. And if you click on playlists, it's a lot easier because now you've got, okay, here's the vendor spotlights.
Now we're breaking them down, yeah.
Touch, listings live, all of them breaking it down. And here's Matrix right here, right? Listing management. And here's Matrix, and here's Matrix 101 right here, the essentials.
And that's where auto email is.
Here, it will actually tell you once I this ad, and there you go, hot sheet, Matrix search dashboard, auto emails, right? Yep. So yeah, go in there or go to the Pro Support page, like Mark said. The nice thing about that Pro Support is you can go in and just pop in, type in the word concierge, auto emails, whatever you're looking for, and it will show you all the articles, all the videos we have. Or if it's, just chat with support if you want, right there. Click that button and you can go ahead and have a little chat with support as well. So we definitely have a video for you if we're not available. Otherwise, reach out to us. So we'll be more than happy to give you a call or respond to your email, whatever it is that you contact us with.
Exactly. Hey, question from Mike Ford regarding members only. Is it off? Are they off market to the potential buyer? And can anyone else besides MLS listings see those listings? So the answer to the second one first, the answer to that is yes, because it does go to the MLSs that we do data share with, which is the Northern California Alliance. So agents and agents only in San Francisco, what we call Berries, which is, wine country above the Golden Gate. Metro List, that's the Central Valley, Sacramento and Central Valley area. And then East Bay, both Contra Costa and Alameda counties do have access to our members only, like you have access to their coming soons. Okay. Sort of the same thing, just name difference, mostly named as difference. Are they off market? I'll state it this way. They are off market directly to the consumer. They are on market directly to the real estate professional. Okay. So somebody can't go to Zillow and go, show me all the members. No, not happening. We don't publish there. They'd have to come to the real estate professional to get that list of special inventory that the other part of the market's not seeing. So it's not fully off market. But it certainly is an exclusive list.
It is kind of nice if you've got that, the buyer says, what do I need you for? I can find everything on Zillow or wherever they're going. Well, show them, find this one. They won't, right?
Yeah.
They can't. So it's more ammo in your belt. Say,
correct.
Your value.
That's why you should use an MLS listings real estate realtor professional. Absolutely, Dave. Jody and
I got one. We got Therese has her hand up for a question, and then I think we've gotten through everything in chat.
Cool.
Excellent.
Okay. A question. It was too much to put in the chat. So as far as members don't show, my concern with that is, as I understand it, if we do only show, or just if we don't do any of it, we have a listing coming up, we can market it to our brokerage.
Yes.
As I understand.
That's correct.
Now, when we do members only don't show, I guess when you're doing, I feel like it's an advantage for somebody to say, I'm not even going to put it on anything coming soon. I'm a large brokerage. I'm a huge brokerage. Let me just try to sell it to the 3,000 members that are in my, I just feel like it can make the big guys get bigger.
Is it brokerage or office market?
It's brokerage. So as an example, Coldwell Banker can market to all Coldwell Banker offices, right? North Bay, South Bay, East Bay, it doesn't matter as long as they stay underneath the Coldwell Banker umbrella.
So those of us that are independently owned and operated, I can only market to the 280 agents in my office. I can't even go to a retailer. So I feel like sometimes that's a disadvantage to, why wouldn't the big wigs of the world bigger? Why wouldn't they just say, you know what, let's just keep everything in house? I understand how it's supposed to work, but are we at ways that, it's supposed to make it better for the consumer. It's
Correct.
Supposed to make it better, and that whoever, I'm listing your house and I'm going to do X, Y, Z, but it doesn't necessarily sound like that. If everyone's like, I'm going to make my brokerage, I work for X company, I'm only going to market to them. We're at a disadvantage. I can only market to those 280 people.
Right. Absolutely. Therese, the Department of Justice is asking the same questions of NAR, because this is an NAR rule, not an MLS listings rule. We just simply have to enact it. I guess, Dave, is that the way the vernacular out of compliance?
Yeah, typically, it's a trickle down. Of course, we follow CR model rules,
right?
That kind of a thing. The nice thing about our members only, you make a great point. And that's not the first time I've heard that in marketing.
Correct.
Sure. The nice thing about members only is it allows you to satisfy that NAR requirement, let you have that conversation right outside of wherever you want to have it while you're still not ready. But yeah, you make a valid point. So I got to think the DOJ, like Mark said, is well, I'm sure they've been informed also by many people that, hey, what are you looking at this thing here?
Right.
A tough one.
It is the topic du jour in Chicago right
you
now.
Might, Therese, you might want to speak with Robert Bustamante about it.
Yeah.
He's the authority he's our director of compliance, and he could probably give you if there is something we don't know, he'd know it. And also kind of a perspective that we can't give you. And he'll love to chat your ear off. He really will. So if you have 6 hours to talk to him.
Yeah, you may block out some time.
I only have 6. I don't have 6.5. I only have 6.
But yeah, he'd love to talk to you. And I'd recommend talking, have a little chat with him about that and see what's going on.
And we'd be happy to bring him on, one of these events and have that bigger topic on rules in general. Right? What the basic rules of the MLS relating to listings and photos and, status changes and things like that. That's a great topic to keep everybody up to date on. Sometimes, the veterans always say, oh, I've been doing it for 40 years. Yeah. Did you know we changed the photo rule last week? Really? Oh, I better come to class. So it's a great class for both the brand new folks just coming in and the folks that have been with us for a long time. And John is asking for, where do you get started with the MLS? That's a big question, but we actually have a getting started class for people that are getting going. John, I'm going to put, I've just hit enter on the email address you can send that inquiry to, and we'll have probably Carlos get back in touch with you, the instructor for that class, and get you signed up and find out what your specific needs are and get you lined up with the right class at the right time.
Yeah, for sure. Getting started, Matrix 101.
Yeah.
Right? And then build from there. So
exactly.
Cool. Thank you, Therese.
I think the biggest question is, thank you, Therese. In the chat room before we go, if you've got a topic that we want us to, prep for next month, would love to get it on the list and get it going. We still have not gotten to e-property watch, but it just won't get there. But Dave pointed out very quickly, Dave has got a brand new show, Dave, Vendor Spotlight. And we've already got,
right. So Mark, you might see him do the MLS listings live, and I've done a few of those, but we've started this vendor spotlight, and what it is exactly that. We're spotlighting vendors, either that have new technology, new benefits, or maybe something that we think is really cool that isn't being utilized, right? And it's designed to be about 15, 20 minutes long, these shows. So we did one with HomeSnap. We're releasing one, I think, about a week to 10 days from now will be RPR. We already got that filmed. That one's a little longer. It's about 25 minutes. They got a lot in RPR. So if you have a little time, we're going to keep every 2 weeks, we're going to keep releasing new ones. And all our vendors, if you have a vendor that you want us to spotlight, let us know. But they seem to be the first one was really well received. We've got it on our YouTube channel. And so if you got 15, 20 minutes, I really think, watch those. Don't miss out on some of these. We've got so many vendors offering so many products and so many things, we'll kind of highlight the ones you don't want to miss, right?
Exactly. And Dave, that's another good reason just to subscribe to that YouTube channel, because every time you post one, boom, they're the first ones that get the notification on that. So I know that eProperty Watch has reached back out to us. We reached out, they came back and said, absolutely, we want to get involved.
Yeah,
so
Mark,
Miranda and Peter are working on that right now.
And real quick, by the way, the host on that is amazing. This Vendor Spotlight host.
I've seen him before. I've seen him. He's a youngster that needs to be watched. He's going.
I had to throw that in there. But also Dr. E, right? Dr. Elliott. Just to let you know, we that video that we have on him will be coming down pretty soon.
Okay.
So if you want that last Mark, Michelle, what was the title of that last one? It was
it wasn't fun at all. It was like the Q2 2021 review. It doesn't sound at all enticing, but we tossed in for important questions to him, like, what do you tell a client who says, hey, I don't want to buy at a peak? Hey, I don't want to buy when things are expensive. What do you tell someone who's on the fence? How do you counsel people? Things we can't say or be forward looking. That had a lot of that in the videos. So it will come down in the next couple of weeks. So if you guys have a chance to go to YouTube, check it out.
Yep, get it while you can. So Jody, you always offer such a good time. We like coming and playing your playground. Oh.
Well, we love having you. And I don't know if you've noticed, but since we started this back in January, February, our group grows a little more.
And they stick around. They stay with us.
Yep.
I love it.
you know, it's a lot of information. And again, we do this for you guys because we hear a lot of questions. So reach out to myself, reach out to Mark, reach out to Therese, who put her contact information in the chat. Let us know what you want to know about MLS. We're here to help and teach and be a resource. It's a crazy market out there. All the marketing meetings, what I keep hearing is it slowing down? Is it, you know?
Michelle, shake your head. Look at her. She's going sideways.
It really is. I have some August numbers here. We have 2 more days, but yeah, no. Depends on where you are, but
That's true.
it's but in terms of cycle, for sure, not unusual, but it looks like prices as well. So
Okay.
Yep. So make sure, you know, you set all of these tools up that they have for you so that you can keep an eye on that. And again, set yourself apart with your reports from somebody else who may not have them. There's a lot of agents out there, so make sure you're ready and can set yourself apart from somebody else. And we're here to help you do that. So let us know what you want to hear. This will be up on the website, hopefully by the end of the week. And we'll see you guys back next month, maybe eProperty Watch. Is that what I heard?
eProperty Watch. I think we should drag Bustamante in for a bit.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
Yep.
So, but it sounds like Michelle's going to have a doozy of a statistical month for us. So you're going to have to come back and play in the playground again.
Absolutely. So we'll see you guys all next month. Thank you for hanging out with us.